Here is a second example on solving a system of equations using the substitution method. Remember, our step one is to solve an equation for one variable. So this can be done to either equation, but I generally look for one that would be easier. So out of all of these variables, this x right here does not have a coefficient, meaning that would be the easiest one to solve with because I would just have to move this negative 2y. I wouldn't have to divide by 2 or 3 like on the other. So I'm going to rewrite this equation by adding the 2y to both sides. So now my new equation is x equals positive 2y plus 2. Now the reason it's positive 2y is because I added 2y to both sides, and that gives me the x by itself, and that gives me positive 2y plus 2 on the other side. So now I have these two equations here. So that was step one. So we have step one done. Now we're going to substitute. So x and 2y plus 2 are the same thing. So x equals 2y plus 2. So anywhere I see an x, I'm allowed to put 2y plus 2 because they have the same value. So I'm going to go back to this first equation, and it is 2x plus 3y is equal to 18. Well, instead of the x, I'm going to go ahead and put the 2y plus 2. And now I have this long equation, and it's a little bit long and overwhelming right now, but we can simplify and solve for our y value. That's our goal. First, I'm going to distribute, and I get 4y plus 4 plus 3y is equal to 18. Next, I have y terms that I can combine, so that makes 7y plus 4 is equal to 18. Now I'm going to go ahead and move this positive 4 by subtracting. That gives me 7y is equal to 14. And either through mental math or that last step of division, we can tell that y must be 2. So part of our answer is y is equal to 2, and we still need to figure out what the x value is. Oh, I forgot. There we go, we solved. So my last step is to plug back in to find the other variable. Now, actually, we have three different equations that we could use. So we have one of the original two, or we have this version that we already rewrote. And since that's the same equation, I just moved that 2y, I'm allowed to use it. And I actually think that would be our easiest to use. And here's the reason why. I want to know what x is, and that one's solved for x. So x equals 2 times y plus 2. Well, I just found that y is equal to 2, so I'm going to plug that in. And I get x equals 4 plus 2, so x is equal to 6. So there's my final answer, 6 comma 2. You don't want to forget our last step, which is checking. Now this checking doesn't have to be handwritten. It can be put into a calculator. But I'm going to go ahead and just write it out so you can see a little bit of space. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this real quick so you can see a little bit more space. And now I will use some substitution. So I need 6 and 2 to work in both equations. So 2 times 6 plus 3 times 2. I want to know if that equals 18. So this is 12 plus 6 equals 18. Yes, that's true. So it works for the first equation. And now I'm going to check the second equation. 6 minus 2 times 2, is that equal to 2? Well, this is 6 minus 4, so last time I checked, that is 2. So now that I've checked, I know that 6 comma 2 is the correct answer.